When a cutthroat fashion mogul steals a struggling Bay Area designer's creations, she and her crew of professional shoplifters decide to hit him where it hurts. Serving up a hyper-colorful, anti-capitalist world, Boots Riley's I Love Boosters takes us on a surrealist ride from local luxury theft to a worldwide labor movement.
And y'all know I got hella questions like, exactly what strain of Bay Area loud was Boots Riley smoking when he wrote this script?
Okay.
Can somebody drop the plug for a booster who carries big men's fashions with size 13 shoes?
Oh.
And what the hell happened to Charming Charlie's? Do you remember that one, Tre'vell?
I don't.
Child, well, looking at the set designs in this film proves they were onto something with those color-coded displays. It's movie day. I'm Ray Love Jr.
And I'm Tre'vell Anderson.
And we are Seated, the blackest show about movies.
Welcome, everyone. If you are just joining us for the first time, okay, great. Take a seat. Welcome to the congregation. We're happy to have you, okay? Now, if you are a returning viewer, that means you like what we do here. So tell the world about it, all right? You can do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Yes, Tre'vell, I have some news. We are quickly approaching our 10,000 downloads milestone.
Oh.
So we need the people to continue sharing, liking, and subscribing because we're getting some eyeballs and some ears tapped in. So yes, go do that now and tap into our Seated Movie Club at seatedshow.com/join, where we're bringing you more of this popcorn-worthy energy with exclusive content and more. And also, don't forget to email us your thoughts at holla@seatedshow.com. And we're gonna, let the people hear what y'all got to say and respond to some of these things that y'all are sharing with us because y'all are quite spicy in those comments.
Okay, as always, running their mouth, okay?
Right. But Tre'vell, I want to know, is today's conversation going to be spoiler-free, or are we going to get into some spoilers today?
I think we can do spoiler-free for this one, because I think it's spoiler-free. We'll keep it top line. We won't, go that deep, but we'll definitely be able to, for those of you who already seen it, we're going to have plenty here, and if you haven't seen it yet, you'll be able to get a nice understanding before you go in, okay?
I'm going to do my best, child. I'm going to do my best.
It's hard. Is it going to be hard for you, Free? Is it going to be hard for you?
There are some specifics that, I really have some questions around, but I'll figure it out. I'll make it work.
Lord. Okay, well, if we have to give a spoiler alert, we will. Before we get into our review of I Love Boosters, though, let's get into our Fresh Out segment. This is where we share some capsule reviews for other movies that we've been checking out, and you have been making use of that AMC subscription this week.
I have. It's the summer, and so the summer comes with a lot of releases.
Is it summer?
And it's Memorial Day weekend.
I was gonna say, I guess we do call this summer. Okay, fine.
Yes. So I have checked out quite a few films, but I'm gonna just talk about 3 that I think are noteworthy and the internet has been buzzing about. Okay. I'm gonna go from my least favorite to my favorite of these watches. And so, starting out is the Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
We've all heard stories of the Mandalorian bounty hunter and a child.
I only hunt Imperial war criminals. I'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
This is the way.
Are you familiar with this? This is, a part of the franchise of Star Wars, essentially.
I've seen the promo stuff in the theater, but I don't know nothing about these people.
So apparently there's a Disney Plus series that's specific to The Mandalorian. I have not watched it at all. And to be honest, I'm not a Star Wars nerd. So I've seen movies in the franchise, but not enough to tap in and know what the hell is happening. So I'll describe for the people what this movie is about. So the pitch is this. Out here giving single father of the year, Din Djarin, a.k.a. the Mandalorian, packs up his little ride-or-die Grogu, a.k.a. Yoda, on a new WoW Republic mission to snatch Jabba the Hutt's son from a dangerous syndicate, putting their unbreakable bond to the ultimate test. Now, if you don't know Star Wars, all of these names and things ain't gonna make sense to you like it really didn't to me. I had no idea what this movie was about going in. Just being honest, I didn't even know who was in the cast, to be honest. But it turns out they have Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White from The Bear, and of course, Sigourney Weaver. Y'all know she loves to be in these types of franchises. She was in, Avatar? Last we spoke about her, so...
I don't know. Oh, yes, she was.
Yeah, she was the 65-year-old child.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. But the first thing that stuck out to me in this movie is that the Mandalorian, he got a little gay walk to him. That was the first thing I saw. Please. And I didn't know. Again, this is me not knowing that the actor was Pedro Pascal under the helmet, because, you know, the Mandalorian wears a helmet the entire movie.
Who is a homo?
Allegedly. I don't know if it's confirmed.
Is it alleged?
I don't know that that's confirmed, but that walk is real sassy.
Well, then,
I mean, whether you gay or not,
whether
you gay or not, the walk can walk. So
okay, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. I thought that's what we were saying.
I mean, his walk looks gay, but that doesn't mean he is gay. You know, he's just got a little, I don't want to say stank in it, but it got a little sass in it. Yes. It's a little loose. Anyway, I also was wondering why the hell Yoda was a toddler. Like, I remember Baby Yoda being a thing trending, but I didn't see the actual movie or project that was in it where he was revealed as a baby version.
So you asking questions that I can't help you answer, beloved, because I ain't seen it either.
Right. And watching this, it did feel like I was being dropped into like a late season of a TV episode that I haven't tuned into like since maybe season 1. There's like endless creature combat that feels like a video game Twitch live stream gameplay watch. And honestly, it kind of sucked to me that the lead character was behind a helmet the entire film, because you don't get to see facial expressions or make that emotional connection that you get like in the eyes of an actor as they're emoting. And ultimately, it kind of felt completely inconsequential to like the wider lore of Star Wars. But I may be wrong, since I'm not a nerd of the series. So those of you who are Star Wars fans,
you weren't supposed to go see it no way, beloved.
I mean, it was a movie in theaters. I had to see it. I had to check it out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. From your description, it sounds like it isn't a movie for someone who is not, you know, aware and already dialed into the world.
But that frustrates me, because I think that a movie worth its salt should be able to stand alone. Like, it should be the thing that if this is something that a person is picking up for the first time, you should entice them to at least want to go back and learn more. And this movie for me was not that. So my verdict on it is to skip it unless you're a fan of the series. So yeah.
Okay. What's next?
The next one is Obsession.
One wish, Willow. You only get one wish. I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
Do you still think I'm pretty?
Now, this has been like all the buzz on the internet, on film Twitter, film internet, I guess, because Twitter's not a thing anymore. And so I felt like an added urgency to go see this. It came out the same week as Is God Is, so it was kind of like, I guess, counter-programming to each other in a sense. And so after seeing Is God Is, I immediately found the next screening for Obsession. And the story is as follows. Serving up a supernatural remix of A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, a hopeless romantic messes around with the magical wishing tree to finally bag his childhood crush, only to find out the hard way why you don't play with root work when your affection turns into a lethal, fatal attraction. Honestly, I think it was completely overhyped. I'm just saying, I feel like this is a movie that was specifically made for like the Blumhouse bros. The characters felt hollow and thin. There were some turns happening that didn't feel earned in the plot. The script, to me, it totally fumbles the bag by brushing past like the most compelling concept in the movie, which was like the actual demon that was possessing the girl. And she was like trapped in somewhere. We don't even know where she was trapped at, but wherever her trapped spirit went is where I was really more interested in finding that out. But the movie is not interested in really interrogating that. So for that reason, I'm going to just call this one a stream it. So if y'all are interested, I would just wait till this one comes home to stream it if you really want to see what all the hype is about. But it didn't really do it for me.
Okay. I mean, listen, you ain't got to worry about me going. You done said it's got some hoodoo voodoo spiritual, kind of stuff going on with white people. I'm staying away.
But it's completely unexplored, so they don't even make it interesting. Like, at least make it interesting.
Okay. Yeah. And then, but you like that better than Star Wars, so it is saying something.
It was serviceable, but it wasn't worth the hype to me.
Come on, serviceable. Okay, and what is the last one that everyone should check out, I guess?
Last but not least is TUNER. It's a movie called TUNER, TUNER. And here's the setup. Given major takers energy with the classical music twist, a former piano prodigy realizes his super sensitive hearing makes him an elite safecracker.
You never take those out?
No. I get hyperacusis. I'm allergic to loud noises.
Hello? You know how long you're gonna be? It's loud.
As long as it takes. Unless you can open the safe. Already? If you want to make real money, give me a call.
Yes, I actually saw this trailer today, the day that we are recording, and I thought it was quite an interesting concept.
It is. And like, so I really enjoyed this movie, and it kind of like, on the scale of just like my enjoyment of film, I related most to like how I felt watching Lurker. Remember when we talked about Lurker movie? It's in that lane. And it's one of like, to me, it's one of the best box office B-sides that we've got so far this summer. And I love how it kind of like inventively uses audio to disorient and stress the audience, similar to how the protagonist is going through moments in the movie. And to me, it just proves that like familiar narrative beats can absolutely eat when driven by like compelling momentum and an Elise jazz soundtrack. There's a moment in the movie that is scored by Nina Simone's Centerman. And if you know me, you know I am a sucker for a score that uses jazz standards to like build momentum. And for that reason, I'm giving it a seated. So check this one out, Tre'vell. I think you will like it.
Okay, yeah, I saw the trailer for this and I thought it was quite interesting, and wondered how they would play with sound, since it is even from the trailer, you could tell that it plays centrally to the story. It reminds me, your description of it reminds me of that Apple TV film from a couple of years ago. It won the Oscar, actually, Coda.
Oh yes, Coda. Yeah.
And how they, in the editing with the soundscape, and they play with the reality of the lead, right? Yeah. Who is, and others who are going in and out of audio sensitivity and related things.
I would say this is on the other side of the spectrum of that, though, because where Coda like drops out sound, this one dials up sound. So like, if you have a sound sensitivity, you may want to go in with like some earplugs or something, because it does get hella loud in there. So
interesting. All right, so that is TUNER, and you said that the people and myself included check it out.
Go see that one. Yes, absolutely. If that's the one movie you're gonna see this week after the movie we're talking about, add TUNER as your B-side.
Okay, beautiful. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick little break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into Boots Riley and I Love Boosters.
Oh, let's do it.
Ow.
Hey, real quick, let's be so for real right now. It's just me and you. You've been waiting for this big sign to put yourself out there. Well, here it is. Your ideas are way too good and way too heavy to keep sitting on. Remember when Seated was just an endless mess of bullet points in my notes app? The only reason Tre'vell and I have a show that consistently sits in the top 100 on Apple Podcasts film reviews charts is because I stopped playing and I locked in with the Stony Brook University Podcast Incubator. It's an 8-month program that takes your show from a rough concept to a market-ready pilot. They keep the cohorts tiny, like 12 to 15 people, so you get real personalized coaching from industry heavyweights who've produced for WNYC and Spotify. You don't need fancy equipment or even tech skills. They teach you the narrative storytelling, the editing, and how to actually build an audience so you aren't just throwing content out there into the void. Plus, you can do the whole thing completely remotely. Yo, it costs $0 to apply. So stop sitting on your potential. Go apply for the Stony Brook University Podcast Incubator by August 15th at podcastfellows.org/apply. Let's get your show out of the notes tab and onto the charts. Boots Riley is officially back in his bag, returning to the big screen to deliver a wildly chaotic, anti-capitalist sci-fi joyride with I Love Boosters. And the casting is stacked with some of our fave black femme leads. Keke Palmer leads the charge as Corvette, joining forces with Taylor Page and Naomi Ackie to form the Velvet Gang, an elite crew of professional shoplifters securing the ultimate 5-finger discount in the Bay Area. The girls have one primary mission: humble a cutthroat fast fashion mogul played by the legendary Demi Moore, who has been shamelessly stealing Corvette's designs and profiting off of the culture.
What would be your biggest challenge in a job like this?
I shop here a lot, and I feel like I should have it all. Just want to take it all home, eat it up, and shoot it out my eyes. I just feel like, give it to me. It's mine anyway.
That is such a good answer.
What's a booster? Somebody that steal clothes from the store and sell it at a discount price?
It's like community service. I call it triple F. Fashion, forward, philanthropy. I know how to spell philanthropy. Branding, though.
Naturally, because it's a Boots Riley joint, the heist spirals into an absolutely unhinged, surrealist global adventure with a supporting cast of heavy hitters like Lakeith Stanfield, Will Poulter, and some cameos that will let surprise you along the way. Clocking in at 1 hour and 53 minutes, I Love Boosters is rated R and is currently playing in theaters nationwide. All right, Tre'vell, let's pop these tags and give the director some. Share with the people what we know about the visionary behind these here seams.
Okay, so Boots Riley, I would say since he has been doing filmmaking, in particular, filmmaking and television, has made a name for himself in that space, but he is, a hip-hop pioneer, first and foremost, for those who aren't familiar. That history actually factors into I Love Boosters, right? Because his group, The Coup, had a song back in the day that inspires, the film that we see here. But before we get to I Love Boosters, I think his major debut, right, to folks was Sorry to Bother You from 2018. That starred Lakeith Stanfield and Tessa Thompson. It was weirdly wonderful. It was weirdly wonderful and showed us kind of this talent, this unique vision, where art and politics intersect in a really interesting way, and particularly with the kind of use of satirism, satire, of satire, and surreal, which is to say hyper reality. You know what I mean? And then he also did a TV show on Amazon called I'm a Virgo. So you might have seen that as well. That was with Jarrell Jerome. And so that's his quick film making and television Hollywood background. He's kind of a voice that, I'm always looking forward to see what he does, because I know it's always gonna be slightly left of center.
Yeah.
And I think I Love Boosters is like that. What's your relationship to Boots Riley? I'm assuming you've seen the other stuff.
Yeah, it's the same. We kind of touched on this a little bit in our summer preview episode where we both shared we didn't finish I'm a Virgo, but I did tap into it. Boots Riley, his taste is definitely alt quirky in a way. I'm surprised he hasn't done a project with. Sure. I'm surprised he hasn't done a project with Janelle Monáe yet, because I think their synergy would align really well with like what she does with her music, because you know she's very left of center. As a matter of fact, that's in one of her songs. Oh, y'all at home know what song I'm thinking of. She has a line in there that says left of center. I can't remember what the name of it is, but y'all know, put it in the comments below. But yeah, he's just one of those folks that I know when he was a kid, he had a big imagination.
For sure,
so yeah,
yes.
that's definitely how I feel about his work. And I was so excited just to see that he had something new out with like these, I don't want to say fresh faces, but like faces I've been wanting to see more of on film from like actors that we typically see in supporting roles. But getting to see them really have moments and like flesh out characters in this way with like the quirkiness and the abstract world that Boots Riley built. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's dive into the movie itself. Tell me a little bit about your film going experience.
I saw this Thursday night preview. I took Cousin Tanya again. The theater was... Yeah, she'll say hey back. The theater was more full than it was for Is God Is last week, but it still wasn't like packed like the way I would like a Black movie opening weekend to be. I will say though, my observations at the rest of the AMC, the halls were still buzzing. Folks were showing up to see all of the other offerings at the box office. So it's hopeful, you know, the box office may be up this week, but I still want y'all to start showing up for these Black movies in the same way y'all show up for those Marvel movies and the movies that people get up on their high horse to say will save Black cinema. So yeah. What about you? What was it like for you?
Yeah, I also went to the Thursday night preview, which I don't make a habit of doing. But it was full, you know, and I went to the 9:00 showing. Both the 8 p.m. and the 9:45 were sold out. My screening was completely packed. You know, almost every seat full except that very first row. And yeah, which was great to see for me. And I think obviously this is LA, so I feel like a movie like this is probably a little bit more up, you know, LA's alley, because it clearly has a political message. It is, like you said, it's just super artsy, you know, in an intentional way. And yeah, I don't know. I'd say maybe a handful of the people were Black, you know, but this is very much so a multi-culti cast, right? There's a little bit of everything in here for everybody, and I think you really saw that, at least in my audience. So I thought that was nice.
Nice. Well, I'm happy to hear people are turning out. Maybe it was just my auditorium this time around. I did go to the first available screening Thursday so that we can prepare for the show. So I'm happy to hear at least that folks were showing up at 9:00 to see the movie. All right. So like we did in our previous episode, I really want to get into some specifics with this movie, where I want to discuss the vibes, visuals, influences that you may have noticed, performances, and takeaways about this movie. So does that sound good to you?
Let's do it.
So give me your top line thoughts. Like, coming out of the theater, what was your feeling? Like, what was your vibe? Like, what were you leaving the movie theater thinking about, or just like feeling about this movie?
So let me start by saying, I'm glad this movie exists. It is another movie similar to Is God Is that challenges me. Okay? Overall, I enjoyed it. I love seeing Keke Palmer in particular, right? In comedic spaces, and in comedic spaces that also allow her to have some drama, you know, range on display. I enjoyed Taylor Page. Naomi Aki was cute too. Demi Moore, fine. Some of the narrative choices around like the concept, you know, the higher concept that's on top of this movie, around, you know, stealing culture, around the relationship with capitalism, you know, those things did not feel as mature as they did, for example, in Sorry to Bother You. So that when the credits start to roll, I said to myself, okay.
Yeah.
You know, not like, oh my God, amazing, I need to watch this again. But like, okay.
Yeah.
What was your top line takeaway?
I was a bit more upbeat coming out than I think it seems you were.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the quirkiness of it. I enjoyed the energy of it. I love that it was a movie that obviously had something to say about where we are as a society without it feeling preachy. So I did appreciate that. I will say that I get what you're saying about it not being fully baked in that sense. But I didn't really ding it for that because I found it so... I found it so much more fun than I think a typical movie covering these same topics would use to approach the subject matter. So I enjoyed it. I also... I kind of giggled a little bit when the movie ends and the first thing we hear for like the credit music is Keke Palmer's voice singing a song about Cassandra, which is the character's name. Something about that felt very like DCOM, like Disney movie in a sense, where it didn't take itself too seriously, and also just like kept it narratively connected to the story in a way. So yeah.
Did cousin Tanya like it?
She did. She actually she came out and she was like, I love that it was a comedy. I actually have her reaction. I recorded her reaction out of the movie just to share with the people. What's your name?
My name is Cousin Tanya Thomas.
All right. What'd you think of I Love Boosters?
Oh, I think it was a very good movie, especially the fact that it's like a comedy movie, and I really like comedy.
Out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
I give it a 4.5 stars.
My cousin isn't somebody who goes to the movies often. Like, this is the most she's going to the movies ever.
I know, you be dragging. You be dragging her along.
I mean, if she down the ride, I love to have company. So, absolutely. Yeah, so she enjoyed it. But
Okay. I asked because... You know, we have recognized throughout the life of this show thus far that you and I's tastes and sensibilities, because we've lived where we've lived and the work that we do can sometimes lean in a particular direction. So I love when you go with a quote unquote regular person, right? And when we can slide some of their feedback into these things. But I'm glad you were, you were more upbeat on it than I was.
Yeah. So let's get into the vibes. One thing that obviously is like an overtone of the movie is very much so that eat the rich energy. And I would say this movie is like pure, unadulterated, like Bay Area chaos mixed with like high stakes, anti-capitalism type of joyride. It's kind of like balancing some of that laugh out loud absurdity and like genuine frustration with the system. Did the overall vibe feel like cathartic in a way, or did it just have you kind of like on 10 the whole time or anxious? Like what was your feeling around just like how they painted this picture for us?
One of the things I appreciate about Boots Riley usually is his world building, right? when you go into a Boots Riley movie, it is absolutely, you've never seen it before. You've never seen this intersection of live action with stop motion with fantasy elements and all kinds of potential CGI stuff. Boots Riley is somebody who uses the medium of film, right? Of television to its greatest extent, usually. I just felt something was missing here. And so I can't quite put my finger on it, but something felt... It just gave more high concept than it did. We are relishing in this specific world, that has been created. And again, I say that in recognition that I think what's happening is this film is brushing up against, some expectations, right, that I have of what a structure should look like, of what a flow and weaving between, these concepts should look like. And very similar to Is God Is, this film is unapologetic in what it offers us, from I know we're going to get to the visuals shortly, but, the visuals in particular, right, to the overall narrative idea and the ways that, Oakland and the Bay Area pops up into the narrative. It's quite interesting and quite a feat of a film, right, to see on screen. And so because I recognize that, I'm like, my personal take, maybe it just is, I gotta lean in and relinquish a little something.
And I think that was one thing that I went into this movie with. Like, I was like, all right, in order for me to enjoy this movie, I have to surrender myself over to the world of Boots Riley and just let him use me. Like, let him have me. And he's a director that, like, I trust to just let me fall into his world, and I just feel like I know that he will land me at a place that will leave me feeling fulfilled in a sense. But you mentioned something specific with the high concept. Now, at the top of the show, I asked the question, what Bay Area loud was Boots Riley on when he wrote the script? And there is a character that I think he uses as a surrogate in this movie to show us that he probably was high when he came up with this. And that's the character of Violetta, I think her name was. And she's used as kind of like the explainer of sorts of how some of the... we're trying to be spoiler free. Yes. When she gets into her monologue explaining a situation. Yeah. It's just very much so. I was like, oh, this looks like what Boots Riley probably looked like trying to explain the concept of this movie to studio. Because I was like, you got to be high to enjoy this.
Yeah. But there are some notes, right? There are some great moments in this film that do connect, that do land, for me. And so I overall I was into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were the imagery, like this abstract side of Boots Riley was really forward in this film. There were instances where like buildings were not what they usually are, where camera angles were, fixated in a way to make you feel the energy of the characters in the movie, also using the hilly landscape of the Bay Area. San Francisco is known for their really ridiculous hills. And so like that's very much so used in the film in a really interesting way to me. One thing that I really loved, that was abstract and like a way he visualized like surrealism in this movie was how anxiety was manifesting for the Keke Palmer character with like this big ball of what I think was like bills and like things in her life that were just unresolved. And I love just like how the scaling of that kind of like visualized how overwhelming things can be in a moment where you're trying to balance those feelings with like the reality of what you're facing in a time. Did that speak to you at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that the visuals can help convey, right, all of that emotional landscape that you are discussing that we see with Keke's character specifically, but also a number of the others, right? Just in terms of like how they are moving through this world. One of the notes that you looked up here describe the film as kind of like a live action Looney Tunes atmosphere.
I love that sequence.
Yeah. But that language is actually super appropriate and apt for this film, because it gives Space Jam, in terms of the way that animation and live action and these different worlds come into contact with each other. It's quite interesting. It really is. I particularly liked how colorful it is, right? The production design, the overall color story that is happening, the costuming, particularly the costuming for the boosters when they are going into each, location that they are heisting from. So vivid, so colorful, so vibrant, so fun, right? And so otherworldly, to where it helps elevate so much else, right? That perhaps is not, as coherent as the visual landscape.
That's something that I really loved, was just how tactile the movie felt with the world building, pairing like the set design, the costuming, and the makeup, all of these things really working so like seamlessly together to create this world is something we don't get a lot of. While there is use of like, I guess, animation, you would say, I wouldn't even say CG. There was an animated moment, but everything feels practical. And I love the colors. Like, there was a moment I was like, this is imaginative, but also something I've seen before, which is why I asked about like Charming Charlie before. Charming Charlie was a store that had different merchandising or whatever. Like, you go into the store and there's like
accessories.
Yes, yeah, and each corner or each area was literally set up for different colors. So it would be a black area, a red area, a yellow area, and that's the first thing that came to mind watching this movie. And I was like, this is a cool concept. Like, imagine if a designer decided to have all of their stores have specific color assignments. So like, if you're at the South Beach location, the color is going to be like the teal of the city, and that's the only color they carry in that store. If you're in, I guess, New York, the color will be either red or black or something. Like, I was like, this is actually something that could be cool if realized in a real store, but it's also like imaginative and quirky in a way that you're just like, this is nonsensical. And I really love that about this.
Well, to that point though, it also makes me think of like potential influences. I don't know what Boots Riley's influences were / are for this film, besides his own work and besides the ganja, as you have alluded to. But color-wise, it reminded me of the Grand Budapest Hotel in a way. It reminded me of, just like, the like rich colors, rich, dynamic, polarizing, colors. And I feel like Wes Anderson, I think that's who did Grand Budapest Hotel, right? Okay, yeah. Wes Anderson has a style that is very color forward, and how Wes Anderson builds a world. And I feel like that's on display here. Like, I want to know what kind of merch are we getting for I Love Boosters, okay? I need it. I want to see it. Because this movie is prime for that. I would absolutely buy a T-shirt or some earrings or a ring. Give me something.
What would be your color if you were to dress in a color for this film? What's your color in this movie?
I'm red.
Really?
I'm red, or like the pink. That pink. There's a pink in the magenta or fuchsia rather in the film. That's me. What about for you?
That's surprising. I definitely thought you were gonna go with your tried and true purple because I know you love purple.
I do love a purple and a lavender. I'm blessed to look great in most colors. But red. Ooh, I feel like
we see the nails, child. We see the nails.
But red I feel like is commanding, and it's it does something.
Red is a grown woman color, child. So we're gonna let you have that.
I'm a grown woman.
My colors though would be either orange or yellow. Like I just love, that story.
That tracks.
Tre'vell, I'm sorry, but I think I have reached a point where I have to get into some spoilers. So I think we should break.
Okay, y'all. We have to hop into a little spoiler conversation. Okay, do with that information what you will, because from here on out, okay, you can look in the show notes. We will have the time codes there for you, so you can rejoin us for Black Cinema Games.
Together, we empty out every single metro designer in the Bay Area.
We gotta take what's ours. We should coordinate.
Well, what are we waiting for?
They've taken everything.
It's not even that yellow in here anymore.
You okay?
It's time to get loose.
Okay, come on, Ray. Where you want to go with this? Let's go.
All right, so there were some specifics in this movie with like themes. So I really wanted to get into the themes. But I was like, I don't know how to, what an entree into this without spoilers would be thematically. And the first one is obviously the idea of when we get to the end of the movie and we have all of those characters undress their skin. And the idea of like avatars being planted in Black communities to kind of incite energy or franticness.
What?
This is what I picked. This is how my mind be working in these movies.
Sister, what are we doing? But okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
But yes, like the idea, because people say that like the Uncle Toms and the people that folks put into these communities to like stir up conversations and stir up trouble, if you will, so that they can influence politics in a way was something that stood out to me in an interesting way. Like, did that at all ring anything for you while watching it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's very much what are those Black ladies' names? Who
Diamond and Pearl?
Yes. who the Republican Party, kind of pimped out and then dropped by the wayside, right? Yeah. It definitely gives that kind of energy. In this moment, I'm reminded of They Clone Tyrone.
Yes.
That film, which plays similarly with this, with these comments and concepts rather of people with ulterior motives and motivations, right? Becoming visual, verbal, notable in a community for the sake of those ulterior motives, and you not necessarily seeing them. Mm-hmm. And I see that. I didn't take it as people being implanted into our communities like that, in terms of that otherworldly piece. But I did look at it as the ways that people become weapons of, right, institutions, and how we as the regular people don't often even realize it. We think we just, consuming regular information, and it's actually, no, you're consuming propaganda. And no shade, that is what is happening in our communities. And today, it don't look like, what it looked like in the film. What it actually looks like is all these podcast bros running around here saying all of, reproducing these conservative ideas, right? And you don't realize that they are reproducing conservative ideas because they look like, homie on, on the corner, or they look like Joe Rogan. And the real reality is it's all intentional. And so that is, I did recognize the added elements, I will say, in terms of that storyline, and then the $100,000 suits. And I thought this is one of those films where it's helpful to be able to talk with a person about some of the things that maybe, because maybe people don't pick up on that element of the concept, because there are layers to this idea.
Yeah, because you can watch this with your brain turned off and like completely not engage with that type of theme. But as someone who's interested in just really unpacking all that, like an auteur like a Boots Riley has to say, I'm paying such close attention to these undertones. Well, this was an overtone, child. At the point that they are in claymation, I was like, there was a lot of effort put into this.
This gets to one of the things that I loved the most about this, which is like this idea of like collective action as art. This idea of protest as art. There's this line where somebody says, they don't want to be art, they want to be the artist. And so there's some subtle things like that are in terms of the words that we hear as part of the narrative that I think really, really forecast the ways that Boots Riley is trying to seed revolution, right? Collective action into our minds, and to show us ultimately by the film's end what is possible, right? When you come together.
Yeah. And you said so much that I want to get into. Oh my God, where do I start?
We ain't got time to get into all of it, okay?
I know, but there's just a lot to unpack with this.
Okay.
You mentioned the podcaster thing, and one thing I loved about those avatars of sort was how he used so many different types of examples of how folks insert into society. Like we had our girl, Kara Young, who was just an Is God Is. She made an appearance as one of the folks in the street news report. And then we got this guy, Dr. Jack, was it? Who I immediately clocked as like a Dr. Stormy type character. Not Dr. Stormy, Coach Stormy. Type character doing the pyramid scheme. And I was like, this is all like the
which we can say now is Don Cheadle.
Yes, Don Cheadle.
Because we are in the spoilers section. You can say that's Don Cheadle.
Yeah, but it don't look like Don Cheadle. So when you see it, you won't even notice it's him.
That's what I'm saying. People might not even know. You might have seen his name and been like, "Now who he played?"
Yeah. And to your point about you quoted a line earlier that spoke to, what did you say? Something about the vision or something like that.
Collective action as art, protest as art. They don't want to be the art. They want to be the artist.
They want to be the artist. Yes. There was another line that stuck out to me when Demi Moore's character said, "I'm who you and your friends hope to be." I said, oh, this is saying a lot here because this is commentary on how people essentially perform hate of a thing because they find it to be unattainable. But like if they could have that thing, they would be that themselves too. And I found that to be such an interesting like tension that they were trying to like shake up in this movie in an interesting way, because it was a very pointed conversation she was having with Keke Palmer's character, who we see throughout the movie, Corvette. She's like admiring Demi Moore's character for the entire movie. Like she won't say it, but like she loves this woman, but she also feels hurt by this woman because she stole her designs. And I was just like, that is such interesting commentary there for me that I really just wanted to bring up here in the conversation. So
I mean, that one I had a little issues with because while yes, they want to be you, they don't want to be you. They, they want to have, they would, we hope to have the access, the money, etc. But the reality,
the harm.
Yeah, without the harm. Because the reality is, right, Keke's character has the talent. There's a reason why they're stealing her designs.
And that's one of my gripes with the movie. Why didn't we see more of that?
Of the designs?
Like, we just saw that one design, but we didn't really get into that character's like psychology or just like how they really got into design, or even just seeing more of what their actual designs are. Like, we just know them for boosting stuff. So
yeah, and that's why. There are things like that that are unaddressed or that are just left to our imagination, which gets at why, I have some challenges with the film. And yet still, I think beyond all of that, right, what we have here is a picture that is saying something, and it's actually very clear about what it's saying, and maybe you'll pick up on it on one level with one set of examples, or maybe it's another set of examples that drives the point home, but it does drive that point home over and over and over. And it made me think of, you mentioned Nina Simone earlier when we were talking about another film. It made me think of another legend, if you will, it's slipping. Tony Cade Bambara, I believe, is the one who said this one, that it is the role of the artist to make the revolution irresistible. I believe that was Tony Cade. In so many ways, this film does that, or it's trying to do that, right? I think it's quite successful in that regard. And that for me is what stuck with me out of it.
Yeah. One more thing that I wanted to touch on are the performances. Like, were there any standout performances to you in this film? And another thing I want to say too, do you realize this is the second movie we've gotten in this year with Keke Palmer in a role that touches on unionizing and striking? Do you remember we talked about this in Good Fortune, in her character running or trying to start the union in that film?
I do recall. Let's see, performances. To be quiet, I mean, Keke was good. I thought everyone was fine. I think the moments in the film where there are most opportunities to shine come from some of those, come from either the comedy of the absurdity of the world, which Keke is really great with, or they come from some of those cameos, right? We talked about Don Cheadle already. I just want to shout out Robin Thede. Robin Thede says no words.
Bitch.
She says no words.
I cannot believe they did that way.
But it's so good. It's that piece, that element was so good between her and Taylor Page's character. That interaction, so good. Both of them are deserving for pulling that off.
And I didn't even see it coming. It shocked me.
At all. At all.
Oh my God. A performance that stood out to me was actually Naomi Ackie, who was playing one of the Velvet Gang members. I didn't even realize what her character was doing until the very end, where she told Keke flat out that I'm always looking for ways out of things. Like, I'm essentially like, Black women are always like the strategists in movements, and they're always the ones trying to, while folks are doing work on this side typically are on the other side, like really making sure the engine keeps going. And I love that moment in the movie. And I didn't even realize that in the movie that's what she was doing, because it was painted as her being kind of a nuisance to Keke Palmer's character in moments. But then once she makes that statement, I was like, wow, I see kind of like what's happening here with her character in that moment. I love how she played it. Like, it really stood out to me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you're saying good things about her now, because I feel like last year when we were talking about her in Sorry Baby, you didn't really like it. You didn't really like her. You said, what
I enjoy
this?
Naomi Ackie. No, my criticism in that movie, my actual response to that movie was that I loved her character. Like, her character was the heartbeat to that
I'm
movie.
rewriting history. I know.
But Taylor Page, something that was funny to me, one thing I was doing that other people may not have been doing, because I followed the press roll of this, she revealed in one of her interviews, I think maybe it was doing a South by Southwest run, which we should mention, I Love Boosters premiered at South by Southwest this year, which is where Keke Palmer's stalker moment happened, all of that. But Taylor Page revealed that when she got cast for this, she didn't tell Boost that she was pregnant. And so when she showed up to shoot, she was like, I'm pregnant. And so while I was watching this movie, I was like playing Spot the Cover Up, where I was essentially trying to see how they covered up her belly throughout the movie. And she did have some of the more voluminous costuming throughout the movie that I thought was pretty funny and fun to like just follow in the movie. But
no shade, the character should have just been pregnant. You know? We didn't have to address it. You know what I mean? She could have been boosting pregnant. You know what I mean? I would have loved that. Anyway, okay. Any other? We've gone entirely too long into discussing, I Love Boosters, but there was a lot here. Okay. So with that, let's get into our rankings of I Love Boosters for this episode. Seat it, stream it, or skip it. Ray Love Jr., where are ya?
I think I am in a streak at this point of seated, because I'm going to say this movie is worth being seated for. Y'all need to go out and see this. Like, seated. Boots Riley is on a campaign telling people that they didn't get as many screens for this movie as they hoped to get, so to go support this so they can get more. So I'm going to say seated. What about you, Tre'vell?
I mean, I could care less whether they get more screens or not. No shade. But it is a seated. I think this is the kind of film you want to see in a theater just because of the world that has been built on the screen. And so seeing it on a big screen, I think will be particularly impactful and useful for the narrative. So I would say seated as well.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm interested in hearing what other folks got to say. So let's drag on down to Rotten Tomatoes and Letterboxd. What are the people saying?
Let's do it. The tomato meter currently is at 92%, which is super high.
Wow.
And I love that for a movie like this that packs a punch. It does pack a punch.
And it's weird.
And it is weird. Now, the Letterboxd rating, so, in theory, a little bit more regular people who have seen it. It's currently at a 3.8 out of 5 stars, which I think is good. I think that's positive. And so both the critics and the general audiences are liking it.
Nice. I love that. I was at a 4 out of 5 stars, so that aligns with me as well. So shout out to the people. Y'all go see this and share your ratings, and let's keep these numbers high and going for I Love Boosters. All right, Tre'vell, let's get into our Black Critic Spotlight. Who you bringing up for us this week?
Yeah, I'm going to shout out a new voice for us on the Black Critic Spotlight, Jeanine T. Abraham, who's an independent critic with her own blog on Medium called VisAbleBlackwoman, who says in part, know that this film isn't just a comedy. As the story unfolds, it's actually a work of activist art. And I think that is important to highlight, right? That is, it really is activist art more so than it is a comedy or any of these other genres. And I think, I hope folks will accept it as that. And I think they'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, it has nuance. And I think in some spaces, this movie will probably be genre that's experimental rather.
Sure.
But I'm into it. Like, I love us having weird movies by us. And that's kind of like what we've been doing. Is God Is was left of center in its own way. I Love Boosters is. Damn, we are getting fed low key.
Well, right about slow down.
Not too much. You're right.
Because in a week or two, we gonna be like, where the black people at? We gonna be like, they gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sooner or later, we gonna have to end up watching Moana to find some color on the screen.
We ain't doing Moana. I'm sorry.
Wow, no solidarity from you.
I'm sorry. I can't do it. Not a whole episode.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a black man.
If y'all disagree with us, let us know in the comments and we may reconsider. Just, They don't
want to see that.
That would do it for our review this week. Let us know what you thought about I Love Boosters in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, hit us up at holla@seededshow.com with your thoughts on I Love Boosters, and sign up for our movie club at seededshow.com/join.
You get some, secret exclusive clips, okay, that we can't put on the YouTube, okay, because I'll probably lose a job or something. Head over to seededshow.com/join to tap in. Stick around. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Black Cinema Games.
Back again, and now it's time for my favorite segment this week and every week, Black Cinema Games.
Pew, 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 pew.
All right, Tre'vell, so this week's game is going to be called the Blackbuster Bankroll. Can you guess what this is about? I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm getting more and more goofy with these names just because,
Yes, just because you can. Just because you can. But okay, let's see what we're working with.
The rules are as follows. I'm going to name a star from the I Love Boosters cast, the year they dropped their highest grossing film where they were the top billed lead, and the exact amount of cash secured at the box office. Then I'll give you a quick breakdown of the plot, and you just got to give me the name of the movie. Does that sound fair?
No, but okay. I will go. I will lean in. Let's do it.
I think you'll have fun with this one.
Okay.
Like, as I mentioned, these are all actors that we wanted to see more of, and quite honestly, all of them have led a film at one point or another. So this is just a way of giving them love, since we've already done a Keke Palmer Black Cinema Game.
Yes,
we
have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. Okay, let's do it. I'm excited to see what my memory allows me to get correct.
All right, let's get into it. Round one is Naomi Ackie's round. The year of this movie was 2024. The box office bag for this one was $46.4 million worldwide. And a blurb about this movie. So look, sis thinks she's about to live her absolute best life on a tech billionaire's private island, but the vibes are completely off and everybody is low-key forgetting what happened the night before. Can you guess the movie?
Yes, I can. Oh my God! What is the name of the movie? Okay, it used to be called Pussy Island is what it was initially called. I can't remember the Blink Twice.
Yes, you got there. It is Blink Twice.
Sorry, I was giving y'all all this extra information you had asked for. But that is what the original name of the film was.
Yes.
But yes,
we love
Blink
context.
Twice. Yes.
You actually just made me want to quote a line from I Love Boosters, where she said, "Now is not the time for nuance, Sade."
No shade.
Fallout. Anyway, you've got 1 point on the board, ready for round two.
Yep, let's do it. Okay, I was nervous about Naomi Ackie, so I love that for me.
Round two is Keke Palmer's round.
Okay.
The year this movie's release was 2022. The box office bag for this movie was $171 million worldwide. About this movie, Keke is out here in the desert trying to secure the ultimate money shot by catching a whole alien spaceship on camera. But this creature in the clouds is absolutely not playing with them. Can you guess the movie?
Nope.
Yes, thank God. So this one tripped you up previously when we did the Keke Palmer roundup. But I'm glad you got there.
It did.
All right,
I remember.
2 points on the board. All right, round 3 is Taylor Page's round. The year the movie was released was 2020, and the box office bag was a little, modest, but it was $5.2 million worldwide. In this movie, Taylor Page takes a wild road trip to Florida with the girl she just met, thinking they're about to get some quick money, but the whole weekend turns into a chaotic, dangerous mess real fast. Can you guess it?
Yes, I can. This is the wonderful, the amazing Zola, okay?
Yes. What was the line? Let me tell you how me and this bitch fell out.
Very that, okay?
All right, you got 3 points on the board. Are you ready for round 4?
Okay, yes, I am. I'm on a roll,
This
honey.
is Lakeith Stanfield's category. The year of this movie release was 2018. The box office bag was $18.3 million worldwide. And in this movie, Lakeith starts using his white voice at a telemarketing job and starts getting to the money real quick. But then he uncovers some straight up unhinged corporate madness behind closed doors. Can you guess this movie?
Yes, this was easy. This is Sorry to Bother You.
All right, you got it. I'm glad this one was easy because round 5 is about to come with a heavy hitter.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Right.
I ain't never scared.
All right. Round 5 is Don Cheadle's round.
Uh-oh. He got the longest filmography of everybody.
He does. He's an icon. He is
Let's
a
see
legend.
where you go. Let's see what year you going with.
The year is 2009.
Okay.
The box office bag for this was over $117 million worldwide.
Okay.
In this movie, Don Cheadle is a sympathetic social worker just trying to look out for these foster kids who are secretly running a whole high-tech sanctuary for stray dogs in an abandoned building. Can you guess the movie?
Absolutely not. What? You said 2009?
Yes.
Oh, dang.
He's a social
Don
worker.
Cheadle.
He's looking out for foster kids. They're secretly running a whole high-tech sanctuary for stray dogs in an abandoned building.
I hear the emphasis on dogs, and so I appreciate the help. However, I don't. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
All right, well, this couldn't be a sweep this week, but I think he did damn good with 4 out of 5. The title of this movie is Hotel for Dogs.
I would have never got that. I didn't even know that movie existed.
I mean, it made over $100 million at the box office, so, enough people saw it.
Well, Don Cheadle is good for being. I'm making an assumption here. I've never seen this movie, but I'm looking at the screen grab for the trailer. Don Cheadle is gonna be that one black man in a white movie. I don't know if that's the case here, okay, but Don Cheadle gonna be present. Okay. Oh no, Kyla Pratt is in this movie as well.
Yeah, I ain't want to burst your bubble. It's.
You could have. You've seen it. You've seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, you got 4 out of 5 this week. I still think that is a passing grade. So shout out to you. And that's going to do it for this week's Black Cinema Games.
Pew, 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 pew. Shout out to me. Okay, let's move right on into our last segment of the episode. In every episode, our Good Vibes Only, where we make little recommendations to keep your vibes right. I'll get us started. I want to I want to highlight one of my good Judy's podcasts called High Key. This is hosted by Ryan Mitchell and Evie Oddly. And they recently did an episode where they interviewed Anya Nerve. It's titled The Cost of Winning Drag Race. And it's such a really interesting conversation and interview with her about her year as, America's Next Drag Superstar. And it gets into so much good stuff, particularly if you're familiar with Drag Race in that world.
I did this because I wanted to. They weren't even paying me as much as I get paid at a Drag Race queen. I was doing this because of the craft. And all I was asking, I was like, yo, I'm the leader of this show. Y'all want me to lead this ship? And y'all not helping me.
Okay, and please, this might be a stupid question, but is $2,000 a week not a crazy amount of money?
And so I will highlight that episode in particular in the podcast more broadly. Give it a listen.
I love that. I actually just was up in a comment about that episode, actually. I commented something about, they were talking about music, drag music or something like that. And I chimed in with my 2 cents telling them that I think BB Zahara Benet is the best drag music to come out of Drag Race. But yes.
Ta ta, ooh, pussy bitch, ooh la la, c'est bon, yes.
Well, all right.
Listen, you didn't expect me to be down with the BB Zahara.
I did not at all.
Okay, Cameroon, baby, the first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay,
Indeed.
I'm just sorry. You just took me back. I'm sorry.
You ate that.
Okay, what do you have for your recommendation this episode?
What's giving me good vibes this week is the latest drop from our boy Giveon, Beloved Act 2.
I don't mind it. Pretty jazzy, babe. Got you right here. You did it before. Oh, tonight you're my jazzy babe.
All right, have you heard of this one?
I have not, but not in terms of the music, but I know that it came out. Someone I know on Instagram is his stylist, and so I see the stuff pop up in my feed. But what's the album giving?
So it's a deluxe album expansion, and it's basically a deep dive into like that rich, deep baritone R&B soul that I fell in love with from Giveon. And it's a trip down romance lane, revisiting like all the mess and the growth of modern relationships. And personally, I like my R&B to still be, I guess, traditional in subject matter, talking about love and talking about all of that comes with it. And so we get a smooth production and like elite features on this one, breaking down exactly how he captures that hella relatable late night driving energy. It's great car music. I actually listened to this for the first time while in the gym. So for me, it was great gym music. And it's just a realization of just how much his vocal pen and artistry really have matured. I've loved seeing him, come into form of sense. So yeah. Now I know the internet was out here doing the most about him because a few years ago his voice cracked on live TV. We all witnessed it. It was embarrassing, but he's still going. And instead of letting that viral moment crack his confidence, he put in the work, proving that he can command any desk, no matter how tiny. And y'all also didn't like his tiny desk performance, which y'all just be hating. But, I'm not even mad at it because Lord knows my playlist was due for some fresh toxic anthems. And this is what this album is giving. Like he's talking about, his ex that can't stop talking about him, dragging his name through the streets and all that. If you ever been through it, And I think it's a win for everyone who loves real R&B and like soulful music. So Beloved Act 2 by Giveon. That's what's giving me good vibes this week.
Okay, that'll do it for this week's episode. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about the wonderful stuff we are getting into over here at Seated, the blackest podcast about movies, okay?
Yes, and hit us up at holla@seatedshow.com and join our movie club at seatedshow.com.
Okay, seatedshow.com/join. We'll see y'all next week.
If you enjoyed this episode, share with a friend. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a like and tap that subscribe button. And if you're listening, give us a 5-star rating and review us in your podcast app or wherever you're tapping in today. It'll really help folks find us as we grow. Seated is an independently funded production, and your support can help us go further. Consider becoming a card-carrying member of the Seated Movie Club at seatedshow.com/join, where we'll bring you more of this popcorn-worthy content, special events, and more. And how do we do all that we do? Well, it's not by ourselves. Our theme music was created by Buckroll and animation by Ashung Adi, with creative consulting by Jade Fox and publicity support by House of Heralds. This week's episode was edited by me, Ray Love Jr. Seated is a co-production of Slay Jean and 5011 Media. It's hosted and produced by Tre'vell Anderson and Ray Love Jr. and filmed on location at the Walk Good Yard. See you at the movies. Holla!
I can't help that sounds just come out of me.
We call that stemming, beloved.
Okay. I was stemming before it was popular language. I don't know, because, everybody talk about the stem and the stem.